Hey, what's going on? This is Ali from Neighborhood Guys. I'm your host with the most, off to imitate and never duplicated. I just wanted to thank you guys, first and foremost, from me to you, tuning into our new show, Neighborhood Guys. What's going on, everybody? This is Ali, and welcome to Neighborhood Guys. Boy, that boy Morant just don't know what the fuck to do with his life. He ain't been back 5 games, and he already shooting at the crowd in the celebration. Boy, have you lost your mind, nigga? Did you forget where we just came from? Did you forget what we just overcame? Like, I just was in shock when I seen the shit. I was like, bro, you got to be kidding me right now. You got to be fucking kidding me. You know better. Nigga, you know better. They say when you know better, you do better. I love Ja Morant. I love his dramaticness. I love his animatedness. And I love his celebrations. And I'm not opposed to anything that he wants to do on the court. My only issue with what he does on the court is, what have they already harassed you about? Rightfully so. The NBA is a business, it's a brand. So I'm not against it. I want to see him shooting in guns with his fingers and celebrating and dancing and being himself. But you gotta understand the circumstance. We just got back from a 25-game suspension. The whole league has been on notice. They've been waiting on you to come back. You came back with a vengeance. I predicted you was going to average 30. You are averaging 28. Niggas told me I was crazy when I said you was going to average 30 because they was, oh, you been sitting down too long. You got to get his legs back. This is not no regular athlete, man. Him being rusty would put him in a above average athlete area still. He's an extraordinary athlete. He can jump and run faster than most of these dudes ever been able to do in their life, even on 7-foot goals. That being said, if you make gun gestures with your fingers at any point during this season, they're going to try to crucify you for that too. So, I want you to have fun, brother. I do not want to see you trying to make gun gestures with your celebrations. You make sure you think your celebrations all the way through before you do them. I know you in the moment. I know you happy. I know you feeling it. I get all of that. I promise I do. I'm on your side. If ain't nobody ever been on your side, I'm on your side. I'm from the city. I ain't from your city. I'm from Memphis. And I want to see you do great, of course, because I want our teams to win. I want our teams to play well. And we know that you're the star player. You Big 12. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we call you. Call you Big 12 because you play big. And you come up big in big moments. You ain't scared of no moments. You don't fear nothing. You don't run and tuck your tail in between your legs or do none of that James Harden ass type of shit. And we respect you for that. We love you for that. You've been taking challenges left and right since you got here and making our team better, making our city better. You see how the attendance was when he wasn't there. When he wasn't there, the FedEx Forum was like at 50% capacity, 60% capacity. He come back, we at 99. Quick. For a Pacers game. Tyrese Halliburton. Like hoopers, we know who Tyrese Halliburton is, but the average fan that's coming to a game, like Indiana Pacers game, they don't want to see the Pacers. They don't want to see the Pacers. They don't want to see Tyrese Halliburton. They want to see LeBron James. They want to see Anthony Davis. They want to see Jimmy Butler. They want to see Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Luka Doncic, Trey, you know what I'm saying? Niggas like that. Joel Embiid. The stars, the all-stars, the superstars, the Kevin Durant's. That's what NBA fans want to see. So for you to see it turn around from 40%, 50% capacity in the arena for a regular season game for Indiana Pacers, for one player to come back and return, you know how special this kid is. And I'll never take that away from him. But he has really got to understand this is not a time to make any mistakes, my brother. So I wish you to do better in everything that you do. And you keep showing these people why they can't mess with you, why they ain't on your level, why they can't handle your game. Why you running this thing down their neck every 5 seconds? Moving right along. Andre Drummond been playing like a man possessed, ain't it? This man gave these people 25 and 24 and really had them out there looking like babies. Chicago Bulls have been playing really good basketball in the month of December, even though their record doesn't really show it. The mixture of Caruso, Kobe White, Andre Drummond, of course DeMar DeRozan, even though Zach LaVine is missing and also Lonzo Ball is missing, they still been playing really good basketball. They've been in most of the games that they played, even though they might not have enough to end the game sometimes. They still have a closer in DeMar DeRozan, who is an extraordinary player. I just feel like they need Zach LaVine to come back. Like, not so much as Lonzo Ball, even though I am a really strong believer in Lonzo Ball's game, because he plays a lot of defense, and he does a lot of positive things, even though people don't really know his name in the way that they think that they should. He isn't regarded in the light that he probably is actually in. He's a really good player. He's a solid player. He's definitely an NBA starter in the league. But Kobe White has been filling in for him really, really well. And Lonzo has a three ball. He has great defense. He plays great help defense. Him and Caruso out in front of guards is a tough matchup for a lot of guards because they're long and they're very active on defense. Caruso is a very underrated NBA defender in my eyes. So I just see them doing really well, but I don't see them doing really well this year. But they're right there. They're just missing a couple of their key pieces. Now, I would hate to see Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan get traded before they get a chance to fully experience their growth, especially with the upcoming of Kobe White and who he's turned into throughout this time. And Caruso's getting better and better. I always thought Caruso was good. I couldn't believe the Lakers even let Caruso leave. But the Lakers let a lot of players leave that I feel like they needed, like D'Lo the first time, or Julius Randle, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram. Like, the list goes on, etc. It's so many players that I can't even express to you all how many players the Lakers have given up on through their LeBron James experiment. Rightfully so. In their defense, they did get the title in the bubble. So, I mean, in the short term, I could see how that kind of worked out for them. But even like a Caldwell Pope, I feel like Malik Monk, those two guys were players that they needed to do everything they could to keep. But that's kind of part of the league. Even Kyle Kuzma, these guys develop and they outgrow the finances for the team. So that's part of the league and what has to happen on the business side. You can't pay them what other teams, lesser teams, can offer them, even in smaller markets. So you gotta lose guys every now and then. I've always been very impressed with Miami, because they don't have a lot of guys that are long contract guys. They just got a couple of guys, and then they kind of plug and play people from everywhere, from the D League to the draft to rookie contracts. They pay a lot of players the lower end toward the minimum, but they get the most out of these guys, like the Gabe Vincents and the Max Struces. Not Max Strus. Who's that guy that left? I can't think of his name right now. But they've always had these kind of lower end quality guys that are really good players that we don't think about, and they make the best out of them and their potential. So I've always been impressed with that. All right, moving right along, I'm going to talk to you guys about the NBA standings currently, and I'm also going to talk to you about how the NBA play-in tournament works and some of my beliefs of what the playoffs will end up being. So starting out in the Eastern Conference, Boston Celtics are in the 1 seed, Milwaukee Bucks are in the 2 seed, the Philadelphia 76ers are in the 3, the Miami Heat are in the 4 seed, the Orlando Magic are in the 5 seed, the Knicks are in the 6 seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in the 7 seed, and the Indiana Pacers are in the 8th seed. I'm only going to talk to you about 9 and 10 because of the play-in tournament, which is why I'm going to explain the play-in tournament to you guys after I get done. So Brooklyn Nets are in the 9th seed, and the Chicago Bulls are in the 10th seed. In the Western Conference, Minnesota Timberwolves are in the 1 seed, which I don't think that they'll stay in, but they are playing awesome basketball. Oklahoma City Thunder are in the 2 seed. I don't think they're going to stay in the 2 seed either. They're also playing outstanding basketball. The Denver Nuggets, who I assume are actually going to move into the 1 or 2. They might not end up being the 1, but I definitely think they're going to be the 1 seed. Are in the 3 seed. The Clippers are in the 4 seed, which is where I think that they'll stay. I think they'll stay in the 4th or 3rd seed. Sacramento Kings are in the 5th seed. The Dallas Mavericks are in the 6th seed. The New Orleans Pelicans are in the 7th seed. The Houston Rockets are in the 8th seed. The Lakers are in the 9th seed, and Phoenix rounds off 10th seed for the Western Conference. So I'm going to tell you who I think is going to be in that area, because Golden State is in the 11th seed and the Memphis Grizzlies are in the 12th seed with the lack of Ja Morant for the last 25 games, as I touched on earlier. So I actually think that Houston and New Orleans will drop from 7th and 8th to possibly 10 and 11th. I think the Lakers will be in the 8th seed ultimately, and I think the Memphis will be in the 7th seed by the end of the season. You can interchange either one of them, the Lakers or the Memphis Grizzlies, in the 7th and 8th seed in general. And then you'll have Phoenix and Golden State in the 10th, in the 10th, 11th, or 12th seed. So what I got for the Western Conference is Minnesota, OKC, Denver, the Clippers, Dallas, Sacramento will probably drop from 5th. Then you got Memphis and the Lakers to round out the 8 seeds in the West. I assume that the Lakers, Grizzlies, and Golden State will be at the bottom of the conference, and Houston also, with Memphis Grizzlies end up with the best record out of those 4 teams. So the play-in works like this: at the end of the season, the 7th and 8th seed play against each other, and whoever wins the 7th and 8th seed games gets the 7th seed of the conference. And then the 9th and the 10th seed, play for the 8th spot, and whoever wins that game makes the play-in wins the play-in tournament and makes the 8th seed. So we're gonna have a really interesting finale for the play-in tournament this year, with those teams in the Western Conference being so tough, and the emergence of the Timberwolves, and kind of how you have the Houston Rockets playing good basketball, and Sacramento's pretty much been good for the last few years, but they haven't had enough to get over the hump in certain areas, which is kind of what I expect from them, to be honest. De'Aaron Fox is great, Malik Monk is great, Domantas Sabonis, and those guys, they play really well, but they don't have the star power to overcome a lot of these teams that have those 2-3 all-stars. So Ja Morant is amazing. He's just going to get us in that area where we need to be. And same thing with Steph Curry. I feel like that Draymond can come back and they can get some things going, and they could push for the 8th seed as well, but I just don't see it happening for them right now. And I'll get back into that in a couple minutes of why I feel that way about the Warriors. I usually don't do this, and when I say don't do this, I'm referring to, I usually don't speak on people's personal issues or past judgment or criticism or anything like that, because I kind of have I try to be morally sound on a lot of things that I speak about and I say, especially publicly. So I'm going to talk about Anthony Edwards' situation with Paige Jordan. So Anthony Edwards has been making news because he has been outed for trying to convince Paige Drade to get an abortion. Because he has, I'm not saying because I don't actually know the reason, but I'm assuming that because he has a girlfriend that he has been in a relationship with for a while, he gets this other girl pregnant, as sometimes guys do. And he doesn't want any parts of having a child with that person. So I'm going to criticize him, even though I don't want to, for not being more responsible. You have an obligation to yourself and your family to make the best decisions, especially when it comes to who you have children with and who you allow into your circle, into your home, into your private life, whatever you may call it. And by him having unprotected sex with this girl and she gets pregnant and you have a family at home, or you have a girlfriend that you're working on becoming a family with, it puts you in a tough situation, and it puts your girl in a tough situation. And I mean, we've been there, like one way or another, or if you're the woman or the man. I'm sure we've all been in situations that weren't positive for you mentally, in the mental space. So he gets this girl pregnant, and basically he tells her, I don't want nothing to do with having a child with you. So I would rather you get an abortion, because I'm not ready for children. And that's what he said. I don't believe him, but I know what that means. He really means I'm not ready for children with you. So he offers her $100,000 to get an abortion. And basically she agrees to it, and she kind of gets dragged through the media because people are saying she's stupid and she shouldn't have went about it that way. But everything that they both did should not have happened, or they should not have handled in the manner that they handled it. Anthony shouldn't have been having unprotected sex. He also shouldn't have been cheating on his girlfriend. And I'm not going to make any excuses for that. But you know how we feel when we're young and we got a lot of money. We're pretty much going to do anything that we want to do. And I don't know the stand of their relationship. She might be okay with him having outside relationships from time to time, as long as he doesn't do certain things. I don't know. I'm not in their private life to make that type of judgment. But anyway, he offers her $100,000 and she agrees to it, and she actually does it. He asks for proof of the abortion and all of that, and she sends him the information. He sends her the $100,000 wire transfer. I think the transfer was going through a little slow for her, so she didn't feel like he was actually following his word, but he actually did do that. But anytime you send somebody $100,000 through a bank, that's gonna take a while, because the banks they're gonna want to know everything that's going on. They're gonna be in your business. You'd be better off giving somebody $100,000 in cash, going to get it and giving to them cash, which is crazy, because that's how other situations arise. But I wouldn't have delivered the money myself. If I was in that position, I would have had somebody else do it. I would not have even offered her that. And she's kind of special for accepting that, because you could get $100,000 a year, literally a year, for having a child with a multi-million-dollar person, any multi-million-dollar person, to be honest, which is why there are so many young ladies and older ladies looking for rich men. That's not the entire reason, but that's a large part to do with it, being able to take care of your family and providing the financial means of them not having to work so hard to get it on their own. So having a rich baby is definitely a come up. It always has been. It always will be. So for the men that have that type of money, you guys got to be extra careful with how you're moving and what you choose to do. Even if you don't have that money and that type of money, and you do just have money, just be mindful of the women that you allow into your bed. So she kind of outed him for what she felt like was mistreatment of her as a person and as a human being. And you never have any right to ask a woman to get an abortion. You don't. No matter what the circumstances is. You failed on your side of what you should have been doing responsibly. So now she has to do what's best for her. So if I was her, I would have definitely had that baby. I would have gotten so much more in the future than $100,000 up front. But I understand that she might not need that money at the moment, but she definitely took the $100,000. So it's a large amount of money to turn down at one time for a settlement or whatever you want to see it. I think that both parties should have contacted their lawyers and came up with a better solution. He should have never been speaking to her about what he was going to do in return. He should have just had somebody else take care of it legally. That's what I would have did. So I'm wondering, would you ladies take that money up front, or would you wait for the baby to come and then, put him on child support or have some other way of dealing with that situation? So I want you guys to tell me that in the comments, like what you would do if you were in that situation. He did apologize for saying the things that he said as far as how he was responding to her in that situation. He was very vague, but it wasn't emotionally warm, should I say. He apologized. He said that women should, have the right to do whatever they want with their bodies, basically. I'm paraphrasing. And also, I want to know, if you were the girlfriend, how would you feel about that situation? Would you want him to offer that money? Would you want her to have the baby? How would you feel about him stepping out on you, or whatever the case may be, as the type of man that he is? Because this man makes $260 million for a certain amount of time. Like, it's not for his career. He's gonna make that for like 5-6 years, and then he's gonna get more money. So if he continues this level of play, speaking of his level of play, he's averaging for Minnesota, who is the current 1 seed in the West Coast, which nobody saw coming. He's averaging 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, on 45% shooting from the field, and 37% shooting from the three-point line. Also, he's averaging 84% from the free throw line and a steal. So, regardless of the situation, he's been playing out of his mind, and I commend him for that, for being able to keep his focus in the game, because it's so easy to get unfocused when you're playing a sport. It's so easy. So that just lets me know that he's a real hooper, and he's here to stay. He's solidifying his position in the league, and he's one of the young bright stars of this league and generation. And I'm just very impressed, with how he has played through all of this controversy. So after he made that statement, he basically told the media he won't be commenting anymore on this any further. Which I think was best, but I feel also he never should have said anything. He shouldn't definitely have letting his lawyers take care of her and their situation, because that's a legal situation. You put my business out to the public, and I'm already a public figure. You know how this could potentially hurt my relationships with different companies, including the NBA and Adidas. Sponsorships in the future, and anything else that could arise in my favor. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk to you more about the Warriors. Actually, I'm going to tell you, Jordan Poole has not turned out to be what we thought he was, and he is playing like trash. I just want to throw that in there, but he kind of got stuck in that situation due to some things that happened between him and Draymond. And, rightfully so. I could see him struggling right now. I thought he would definitely be playing better and have his head on straight by now, because it's been a couple of years since that situation, or a year. He's a year removed from that knockout punch that Draymond gave him. So, UFC Draymond. Draymond has also been suspended indefinitely, which is basically never happened to an NBA player, aside from through drug use or drug abuse. I'm trying so hard to keep this video under 30 minutes. I promise you, I'm not going to be here for longer than 30 minutes. Draymond has choked somebody, he's slapped them, he's punched them, he's kicked them, stomped on them, and the NBA just has finally said, enough is enough. You need to get some help, and we're going to let you get that help and let you step away from this game. until we deem that you're able to come back. I do think that the NBA and Adam Silver will allow him to come back sooner than later. But as of this moment, I've been wanting him to get something like this a while ago. I feel like this should have happened when he hit Jordan Poole in practice. I felt like the Warriors should have already cut ties with him, no matter what he's been able to do for the team in the last decade or so. I don't care about that. Like, I feel like what you do on and off the court and how you act, there are certain lines that you don't cross. And especially with your teammates. Your teammates are your brothers. These are the guys that go into battle with you every night and every day. Even if you don't like them, you keep a certain level of respect for them no matter what. And this even goes back to Kevin Durant leaving or wanting to leave the Warriors and start his kind of NBA journey with other teams and franchises after OKC. He cussed out Kevin Durant so bad in front of the world that Kevin Durant was like, after this, it's a wrap. This is it. I'm out. I don't want any more to do with you guys' franchise or organization. And all that was really because of Draymond. It wasn't because he didn't like Klay Thompson or he didn't like Steph Curry. He didn't appreciate the things that happened between him and Draymond. And the Warriors made a decision that I wouldn't have made at that time. I would have traded Draymond at that time or told him that after this season we're going to move Draymond and we would like for you to stay because this man bought you two championships and he also was the MVP of those two championships over Stephen Curry. And they have great chemistry alongside each other, which is rare. You rarely see two stars be able to have great chemistry, so I would have kept him in the first place if that was my personal decision to make. But, I'm just enjoying the game as a fan, and I just talk to you guys as a fan, and that's my passion. My passion is for basketball. So, Klay Thompson kind of started off really rough this year, and he's bounced back very nicely from those struggles because I was pretty down on him myself. And even before they decided that they needed to suspend Draymond for his actions because he got suspended back-to-back, basically he was suspended for like 5 games for a situation, and then he came back. And a couple games later, he gets suspended again indefinitely. So I was already down on him before that. I was thinking like maybe it's that time to move one of those guys. You can move Klay or you can move Draymond and get some younger talent in and see what they can take you. Or maybe a veteran player that's already established in the league. In this particular situation, I would just move Draymond and I would keep Klay. I never would lose Klay, even though I was saying that Klay might need to be moved at this time. I actually think Klay should be moved to the bench if in games when Steph isn't available or something like that, or vice versa. Chris Paul was never a good plan for me in my eyes. I never thought that he would work out for the team, but he has been working out pretty decently. But I still don't think that that's a plus for them, except for in the playoffs. And every year he gets hurt in the playoffs, so I don't know how that's going to work out because I assume from his history he's going to be hurt this playoffs. But he's been playing and he hasn't had too many issues. So, my question is, do you guys think the dynasty is over? Because I definitely don't see them being in contention this year. I think that they'll have exciting playoff series like they always do against some of the lower seed teams if they're able to get against some of the lower seed teams, because at this rate they're going to be in the play-in tournament or the 8th seed. And if they're in the 8th seed, they're going to end up playing one of these top teams in the West, which is Minnesota, OKC, Denver, or the Clippers. And I just don't see them having a good chance at beating those guys. They can beat Minnesota if they get it together. When they make a move, I think they're going to make moves at the trade deadline. I definitely think that. They can also beat the OKC Thunder because those guys aren't better than them. He's better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, even though Shai is an amazing player, and Klay Thompson is also right now better than Josh Giddey. But the thing about those two guys is they're able to do more on the entire basketball court than the Warriors are, than Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry. So, of course, if Denver stays in the 3 seed, which they probably won't, they'll move up to the 1. So I see the Warriors playing, or the Grizzlies playing Denver in the playoffs. And that's going to be an uphill battle for both of them, and I don't think that they can beat Denver at all. Denver's a big team, and they have Jokic, of course, who is amazing, and they also have Jamal Murray, who plays above his potential in the playoffs. So he becomes one of the best point guards in the league when the playoffs start, which is exactly how people are supposed to play. So I don't see that happening for either of those teams, either for the Memphis Grizzlies or for the Golden State Warriors. So that's going to be tough. And the same goes for Phoenix and the Lakers. They're going to put them right back in the situation they was in last year when they got beat by the Denver Nuggets. So, and Denver basically has the exact same team that they had from the year before when they won the NBA championship. So the dynasty definitely, to me, I think has come to an end. If they don't make moves at this time to ensure their future with Steph Curry, as he's still playing his prime to a degree, and utilize his ability to play at this moment, because he's about to be 35. I think he's 34. He's only got a few years left of really high level basketball before he probably ends up a two guard. So literally a two guard and moving off the ball, which is kind of what he's done now. But he's going to take a lot more effort on his body as he gets older and older and older. Just like LeBron James. LeBron is playing amazing. LeBron is lasting longer than people thought he would ever last, or that players that we've seen in the past are able to do. There have been guys here and there that have been able to withstand the test of time, but it's just amazing the way that he has been able to hang in there for these 22 seasons, doing the things that he does, moving the way that he moves. It's just it's really amazing to see and exciting to watch. And I know you guys think I hate LeBron or whatever, because a lot of people know that we have debates about LeBron and go back and forth about Michael Jordan. And I think Michael Jordan is the better player, but that doesn't mean I hate LeBron. I just disagree with the way that you all view LeBron and the attitude you all have towards Michael Jordan to give LeBron his credit. Like, you don't have to dislike either player to say that one is better. You can like LeBron better. You don't have to say that Michael Jordan is trash. You can like Michael Jordan better, and you don't have to say LeBron's trash. So that's just, I just kind of just be defending the GOAT, defending Michael Jordan. So if you put me in that position to have to defend Michael Jordan, that's what you get. But if we're just talking about them as basketball players, they're both amazing, all-time great basketball players, and there'll never be another one of either one of them. So the NFL gets something that I wasn't aware of, but I did know the NFL got more ratings than the NBA. But the NFL gets 4 times the amount of ratings that the NBA gets, and the NBA pushes so hard through the media to get ratings and streams and views from all over the place and through even their apps. But NFL football is America's sport. It just is. You got 40 players on the team, and these guys got families all across the nation, and I could just see how easily that would be the case. 40 players got a lot of family members, especially a lot of family members if they had the money to have them in the city with them or fly them out for certain games. You're going to have crazy attendance. You're going to have crazy viewers, because all of those 40 family members have other family members, and they're all going to watch together. So it's like the numbers, even for the players on the field, it just doesn't match up. And I would assume that they would have better ratings. But also, the NFL is the NFL, and the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. So once you get the Super Bowl involved in this, this is like a concert. You got a game, a concert, and this is America's favorite time to watch anything on TV, to me, aside from soccer or football, the real football, if you want to call it that. So that kind of just struck me in a new way. So you guys can get at me in the comments about what you thought about Anthony Edwards and what you think about the playoff standings and who will win the playoff tournament, who you think will end up in the 1 seed in the West and the Eastern Conference. How you all think that Draymond Green will turn out in this situation and just craziness that he has going on. the psychiatric help that he needs for UFC Draymond. How, if you all think that Jordan Poole will improve over the course of the season or next year, tell me what you think about the Warriors dynasty, or tell me what you think about Anthony Edwards and the situation with the woman that he has and his girl and his side piece. You think his side chick is gonna, bring this up again and make it an issue, or you think that she'll end up signing some type of legal document to not be able to talk about it? And you think his girlfriend will ever speak on the situation if she hasn't already? Just let me know what you think. All right, nice being with you guys. Yeah, have a great day. Peace.